And happy Wednesday to you. But for those of you that may catch this another day, happy whatever day it is to you. It's time for another live stream on Things at Random. I happen to be one of a few people that really don't have a niche, as they call it. And I understand the whole process of behind having a niche if you're trying to increase your viewership and get more subscribers. I do understand that. But for me, at this current time, that's a lot of work. And I don't really have that much time. If I was one of the fortunate ones to be working part-time or not working, maybe I could put that kind of time into this whole YouTube thing. But that's not my case. I'll get there. Retirement seems so far away, but the way time is flying, I go to bed Friday, wake up Saturday, it'll be like 2 or 3 years pass by. I mean, just think about it. We were just celebrating New Year, and it's gone. So take advantage of every minute of the day if you possibly can. And I know we all like to goof off sometime. Hell, I do that. William, hello, sir. Glad to see you here. So now I don't have to talk to myself. Now we can talk. I was earlier, maybe about 40 minutes ago. Greetings, everyone. About 40 minutes ago, I was trying to record a video while I was cooking. But that wasn't going too well because I like to take my time and focus, even something as light as what I'm eating. I like to take my time and focus on what I'm cooking. And I deleted the video, which was titled, well, first of all, I welcome your comments. So if y'all want to leave comments, go right ahead. But I'm just going to say it so those of you can really comprehend this, okay? I don't have my glasses on, and my phone is quite a distance away. So I will not be able to read these comments right now. I will read them. So, I mean, if you want to get on a roll and just keep saying the same old repetitive thing, you're pretty much going to be wasting time because I can't see the comments. So unless it's there for everybody else's entertainment, we can go, maybe that's what it is. But anyway, I didn't want y'all to think I was ignoring you. So I was doing this video, I was trying to record it for YouTube, and I've already said several times, every time I try to record a video, I stop and start to do other things because I feel like if I'm recording it, I'm trying to be as close as to perfection as possible. So I stop it, start it over, stop it, start it over. I was going to title that one, Stop Loving the Wrong Person. You know, think about it. We get in these relationships with full intention of finding that spouse, somebody to love. A lot of times this person is looking for a relationship, but they are looking for it for different reasons. You know, you could be their come up if you will. They may generally like you and generally enjoy your company, but that person does not love you. So many times we put our own all out. Sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. That's the benefit of going live. I can't erase it. Sometimes we put our all into a person that's not deserving of it. And if you're in one of those relationships right now and you know you're not being loved the way you think you should, maybe you need to think about some other alternatives. That person could very well be involved with you for what you can do for them. You know, until they get on their feet, if you will. And that may or may not be from personal experience. I'm just saying. Felt like it needed to be said. But with this loving the wrong person, it may not even be relationship based. It can be your best friend. You do anything for that person. You absolutely love that friendship. So let's ask yourself, when the last time they did something for you? When the last time they returned a favor? And we all accept those things. So if everybody's just popping in, hello everybody, gonna get straight to the chase. I'm not reading comments right now. My glasses are sitting over here. So we're gonna get back to what I'm talking about. Just like I said, it's at random. And had that video gone over well earlier, it had some very key points on there. First of all, how did you meet this person? Think about just how strong they came on in the beginning versus where you are now with that person. And if y'all hadn't been under the same roof, think about how much less time y'all spend together now that you're living together than before y'all were living together. There are a lot of people out here that will strategically place themselves in your life. And they seem to have all the great skills, everything you're looking for, because they're really just telling you what you want to hear. And so the more that they gain from you, the less they're going to be vested into the relationship. And rightfully so, you're in a relationship. It doesn't matter if this is a new relationship for you or y'all 10 years strong, well, you're 10 years into it. You shouldn't want to be in a one-sided relationship. I'm not saying walk out. I'm not out here promoting divorce, but if you know it's wrong for you, and you've known it was wrong for the last 2 years, and absolutely nothing has changed, what are you waiting on? You can do a trial separation. You can do counseling, but a lot of times, and I know this personally, you can mention counseling to your spouse. They don't want no parts of it because their sick, twisted way of life, they want to keep it right there where it's safe, where you built that nest egg for them. So my thing is, if two people are in a relationship and they love each other and they're willing to work on it, but one of you say, well, I don't want to do counseling, at this point, you're too far in to worry about red flags. They don't want to go because of their hidden past. They don't want to share their truth. There's nothing wrong with, in the beginning of a relationship, asking that person, hey, if we get real serious, or if we get married or engaged and we start having difficulties, are you okay going to counseling? And if they can't answer you right then, if they say, oh no, I'm not with that, then that's the red flag. You already know what's going to happen. You already going to know. So y'all just need to be careful, be mindful of that. You know, I'm not going to spend this whole live talking about, you know, loving the wrong person. I mean, we all know what we're doing. You know, and some of us that are on here that are watching this live right now, or just some of us that are just walking around every day, we are that wrong person. And we try to manipulate people. You know, I was watching a special today online. They was talking about, we're going to switch gears now, bullies. They were talking about internet bullies versus people in real life. And this lady came up with this number. I don't know. I'm just repeating what she said. 85% of the time when there's an internet bully, a so-called internet bully, that person was bullied as a kid. That person was bullied in elementary school, middle school, or high school. Now that person's gotten out of their element, in their own way, they're like seeking retaliation, but they're still cowardly, and that's why they do it on social media. Because there's a good chance that you won't find that person. Or you may think of a clever way to get to know the person and plan to meet them, you know, win their friendship. And then you got them face to face. Let's just see how much of a bully that person is then. But a lot of these internet bullies that are just trolling, if you will, from one social media network to another, and they're saying the exact same things. And I know this to be true because I've watched some people's lives. I've watched it later, and I've watched them do another one on another platform, and it's that same little, it's usually that same person saying the exact same thing, but it's a whole different live stream. It's about something totally different. So, and she was saying, well, a lot of times the best way to deal with those internet bullies is just to ignore them. They may start out with a general question, and they start sliding down a slippery slope somewhere you don't want to take it. A lot of times we're not on here to be too personal. So there you have it. If somebody start asking you something that you deem is personal, and if you're on there and all you want to talk about is book clubbing, and they're asking you all these personal questions, just ignore it and keep going on. And that's why a lot of times people turn their chats off. Sometimes I'll sit here and I'll read them. I read some of them this morning. You know, the guy that went on about all the jobs he had, and I started asking him questions in reference to his career. He just completely ghosted the whole situation because he was lying about it. I wasn't doing that to test him. The way I see it, if there's something interesting you bring up, I think for those of us that are watching, if you can go take the wheel and explain some of these things, it can be informative. You know, it won't just be one person that knows. It could be 5 people that know. You don't realize the power in a lot of your messages, but instead of you choosing to always just be the class clown that you couldn't be when you was actually in class, that's not gonna get you anywhere. You know, and I don't mind them. You know, I've said to maybe 3 people now since I've been doing this. I think since February 28th. We can make it personal. We can go one-on-one. We can actually video chat. If you really want to say these things you want to say, if you really want to find out about me, I welcome you to a one-on-one video chat. They won't do it because they are cowards. That's just the bottom line. You know, and we all know them. You know, it's everyday life that you're dealing with a coward in some form or fashion. So do not allow that in your life, because it's just words. It's just somebody sitting somewhere that their life is miserable because they chose to make it miserable. Just because you was bullied when you was in elementary school or whatever does not mean that you had to lock yourself in your mom's basement and hide away from the whole world. And now here you are 25, 30, 35 years old and you still don't have social skills. So it makes you feel good to hide behind your screen. And you're sitting there a lot of times laughing at yourself. There's nobody around you. So you have to make a decision. Do I just want to be one of those people, or do I want to be one of these people that get out and assert themselves? Somebody that can actually have a conversation, somebody that wants to share certain things. It can be public knowledge. It can be, if you want to talk about something personal, instead of always asking questions, why don't you provide something about yourself? And you realize how quick you could actually get to know people. Because one of the biggest mistakes that we make when we trying to get to know somebody, and men, we are the ones that's guilty at this. You see a young lady, you're interested in her. First of all, you're scared to approach her. You finally get up the nerves to approach her. And you just start going in with back-to-back questions. You have not introduced yourself. You have not said anything about yourself to this woman. Right? And it, that's about your 10 straight questions. She's looking at you, giving that eye like, will you back off? Because you can't even carry a conversation. And ladies, the next time a guy approach you, assume you're single. And you say to him, so tell me some things about you. And if he says what you want to know, walk. That man's just telling you right then and there, he don't know anything about himself. If you said to him, tell me some things about yourself, you just told him. He can go with the basics. He can say his name for starters. He can say where he's originally from. He can tell you how long he's been in the current city. He can tell you general things, what type of field of work he's in. But answering that question with a question, you need to just cut that off right then and there. Because that man does not know anything about himself. And all he's going to do is make a date with you. You're going to accept his dinner date. And he's going to spend the next hour and a half, 2 hours at that restaurant asking you all these questions. And you sit there. Why won't he just talk to me? Because he's not assertive enough. He can't really consume anything. He can't take over the conversation. See, he thinks he's involved in a great conversation. And all he's doing is asking you the same questions over and over. But you gave him a second chance. You said, okay, so now back to you. Tell him some things about yourself. And men, the way to get around this, you all tend to have the exact same questions you're going to ask. So if you meet 5 women in a week, you're going to ask them the exact same questions. Now, instead of asking those exact same questions, form those questions into answers about yourself. Write those questions down, the same ones you always ask. And over here, write down answers about yourself. Get used to talking about yourself, but not so much to where they're going to say, well, he's conceited or he talk about himself too much. But you got to say something about yourself. How can a woman become interested in you? How? And that don't mean a 20-minute conversation about your car. There's more to you than your automobile. And if y'all really think I'm just sitting up here making up stuff, and especially men, especially young men that's wondering why they can't get a date, or they're having trouble meeting certain women. Watch you some, you on YouTube right now, watch you some podcasts on how to make that first move, or how do I get that woman interested in me. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something about that. If you start researching all this stuff on social media, and if that person acts like you, looks like you, and their whole video is just full of loud laughter and intros and all this other stuff, that's not the person you need to learn from. You need to try to learn from somebody that can give you a good conversation about how to win her over. You're going to want that great conversation. So you're not going to learn it by with the same old routine you've been having. And learn to adapt to your surroundings. Just because that you may be this cool brother on the street to your homeboys, and y'all on the basketball court, and y'all see those same young ladies at the park every day, y'all know the ones. Now, you in town, you see this lovely young lady. I don't know, she's at a coffee shop. You look at her, she's all about business attire, nice purse, hair together. She's not the one at the park. You need to be able to adapt and be able to talk to that young lady, because I'm quite sure she just didn't come downstairs from that high-rise building that she works in to come down to get coffee for you to roll up on her, calling her bruh. Y'all think about that now. Y'all think about it. Now, bruh worked when you was at the park, because you got those over there, those ladies answering to that. But that's not the majority. See, just like you left that basketball court last night, now you back in the office building. It does not matter if you the front desk clerk, if you security in the building, or you handle the mail throughout the whole building. But now you're in a different environment, because you're in an environment of professionals. So I guarantee you that whole court life, now you around all these professionals in this office park. If you learn to conduct yourself professionally, and you just become a study of how the men and women are carrying themselves. Now, I'm not saying be a false, but take it in, learn some things. You know, just go in there. If you handle the mail and you walking in there and you know this is the senior partner of a law firm, and you in there nodding your head to my what's up, you know, a simple good morning to him. He's a senior partner. And you're going to give him that respect. He's going to give you the same amount of respect. He probably don't even care what your position is in that building. But the more he starts to see you because of the way you conducted yourself, guess what? He may have some other stuff coming up down the pipe. He may want to talk to you about earning some extra money. He may be getting ready to put on a party. He might want to know if you free, you have free time on a weekend because, he has servers or whatever. See, don't sell yourself short. And now that's not kissing up, y'all. I'm just saying, when you're in a different environment, and I've seen this in people, they get in a different environment, they become nervous. They can't handle it. They cannot handle it because they're just so stuck right here. That's only gonna get you so far. Now back to the lady in the coffee shop. When you approach her, you need to remember that. A simple good morning. How's your day going? All that other stuff, that court life stuff. Unless she's in there and she just happened to be the house. I ain't putting nobody down, first of all. I don't want to say housekeeper. She just may be a security guard too. And if she's up there acting like Shaquita, then okay. But now we're not talking about Riri and Shaquita them at the basketball court. We're talking about full grown, respectable young ladies that's in this Fortune 500 company, in this building, this office park, that you have seen more than one occasion. So you finally got a chance to catch up with her. You have watched this woman enough times to where you know exactly what time she's gonna come off that elevator to get her coffee. And if you say good morning to her, you ask her how her day is going, introduce yourself. Don't ask her for her name. Introduce yourself. because that's what mature women like. Believe it or not. Once you introduce yourself, and she introduced herself, and she extend her hand, whatever, shake her hand. You know, you're not gripping the basketball, so just keep that in mind before you try to, damage her hand. Y'all having a little cordial conversation. Meet you and say, it's my treat this morning. She'll say, okay, thank you. I got you next time. See, she's already opened the door for another time. It's all about the way you approach the situation. So, and this is not just for the young cats. This is for everybody that's out there. And just because I'm talking about the way this man is approaching this lady, ladies, I hope y'all taking that in too, because a lot of times y'all really wish that a nice young man or gentleman would approach you other than their co-workers. But you probably think that, but these guys don't have the skill set. I'm so tired of dealing with these ballers and these fake gangsters. And these ladies are talking about that to themselves. And if you don't believe me, if you got sisters or aunties, ask them. They'll tell you the truth. And I'm not saying all women, y'all got to stop saying that. I don't do this and I don't do that. I'm just generally having a conversation. If you're interested in somebody and they're not in your street element, the way when you go home, you need to learn to adapt to your surroundings. And that's what it's called. I think if more of us would have watched Animal Planet, Call of the Wild, Disney, watch how animals act from season to season. Especially watch how the gorilla takes charge, watch how the lion takes charge. A lot of you men would kind of pick up on some of that stuff. We're being too weak towards these women in a lot of cases. And a lot of times these women pick up on it. Now, unless you just a 24/7 sub, a submissive, and you want that dominated woman, then you need to make that point clear too. I've already talked about that in several of my lives. So as these messages keep popping up, once again, I don't have my glasses on. I'm not reading them right now. I can stop talking about what I'm talking about. I can put on my glasses and scroll through it. But then we'll have a lot of dead air. So as the moment closes, I'll go back through them. And if anybody got any legitimate questions, I'll answer them. If anybody got any legitimate comments, I'll do what I can to go through them. But I don't want to do that while we're having this conversation, because it's going to take away from, there's actually somebody on here that's taking notes to this. And I'm dead serious. Find your podcast. If not on here, on YouTube, somewhere else. Or, find your podcast on how to get this woman interested in you. And you can even research meeting somebody from two opposite backgrounds. You get all kind of podcasts, all kind of live streams on that. But once again, if your friend base is on that basketball court, and I'm not just saying basketball, but that's generally where a lot of people gather. Or if your friend base is, I'm trying to keep the race out of this. If your friend base is at the basketball court, or your friend base is shooting hogs when you get out of work, okay? But you're looking at this young lady, you could tell that more than likely she was raised as a debutante, and she's been carrying herself real well. That's not to say she ain't got a dark side now. She might turn out to be a freak, so you be prepared for that too. But you need to know how to adjust and act accordingly, because you may still be in the hood. You may still just drive through the hood just to hang out with your homies. Hell, I was raised in the hood, but I don't go to work acting that way unless somebody want to start something. And I ain't just so quick to go off on somebody or in public. I'll just give them a warning. Hey man, you might want to back off, because I still believe in playing the dozens. So if you're going to crack on me, I'm going to crack back on you. But that's face to face. I'm not going to do this cracking back and forth trying to read these messages type stuff, because that's cowardly. If you want to come at me, then like I say, we can do a live stream together and we can go back and forth. If you want to come at me like that, because I believe in playing the dozens. I do. I go way off on you. And it makes me feel good. Two things that I used to love is playing a dozen and arm wrestling. And I lost a lot of them. I won a lot of them. Don't be afraid to lose. But don't be back to this. Don't be afraid to approach that young lady that you're trying to get to know. And this is where I'm saying she's working at an office part, because that's a median for a lot of people. You know, she could be, I don't know. She could be working at UPS. You know, she may be in your favorite restaurant, but she's studying law, or she's studying engineering. Even when she approach you, every day that you go sit in that restaurant and you have your same 2 waffles and blah, 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 she greets you with a good morning. And what did you say for the last 6 months you've been stalking her? Sup. I mean, come on. And she, once again, she just keeps saying, well, good morning, how are you today? Sup. I mean, you can't get out of your own way long enough to even say good morning to this woman and initiate a conversation. She just said, good morning, you ask her, how are you doing? Yeah, I know, woman, that's part of her job, but that may be the type of person she actually is. So that may be why they hire her, because of her friendly behavior. And she's being friendly to you. And then what do? You clamming up every shot you get, but you running back to the basketball court bragging to your homeboys about you got this chick. You ain't got her. You ain't got her yet. In your mind, you do. Now you got to figure out, all right, when I go back to work Monday, when I stop in that restaurant, I got to try something different. A simple good morning. How was your weekend? I'm Angelo, or I'm Daryl, or whatever your name may happen to be. Do not start off with the same old questions you ask every female you see. Provide some info, but not so much. Just give her enough to hang on to. Because you're not going to win her over in one day when she know you've been coming in there for the last 6 months sitting in the same seat. Just give her enough. I'll tell y'all something a lot of males don't understand and don't even know nothing about. You need to learn to experience the chase. That's what it is. Once you master the chase, you got it made. And that can be for any age. You know, if I see something I want it bad enough, I'll chase after it. But now, kind of like, nah. First conversation, I can hear that she's damaged. And she's working on herself. She's just probably getting out of something very traumatic. I don't have time to play nurse. You know, if you're not already, recovering or seeking counseling, and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that, and you've been trying to quit smoking, and you 5 years and you still trying to quit smoking. Because I don't date smokers. It'll come out sooner or later, even if you're doing it under the table. It'll come out sooner or later. So once you finally gotten up that Monday morning, and young man, you grew some over the weekend. You grew some. Man, you going in there. Don't drown yourself in cologne. Comb your hair this time, okay? Actually, wash your hair. Go and get in the shower Monday morning. Wash your hair. Grease it, do whatever you normally do. So if you still walking around here with dreads and braids or plaits, all of the same, you ask me. They call it different things just to sell it to us. So make them neat. Do whatever you got to do. Now you're going to go in there, you're going to approach that young lady, because she's come over every morning and greeted you with a smile and a good morning and asked you, how's your morning going? And even went so far to ask you if you work in that particular building. And you like, yeah. She's asking questions. She's initiating conversation. But once again, you're in your own way. Partly because you're afraid. Partly because you're that same little person that was bullied in elementary school. Now you become an internet bully. And now you on the basketball court. And now you're trying to assert your manhood around the other 25 that you see day in and day out. And all y'all doing is calling women out their names. You being totally disrespectful. Yeah, the same little three that's walking by there, Lily and Quita them. They okay with it. Y'all can call them anything. You and your homeboys done been through a couple of them anyway. But now you out here, you don't left that jungle. Now you see something prime over there. You don't know how to approach it. You don't know how. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I had started dating this young lady, and she happened to be in the a field of, let's just say she helped people out for a living. I don't want to put too much of her business out there. And she asked me, are you intimidated by my position and what I do for a living? I'm like, no. Why? Well, a lot of men, when you tell them what you do for a living and they realize, your background, all this, they get intimidated. No, I'm not intimidated. I just kept the conversation going just like it was going. Didn't bother me not one bit. I mean, yes, she was intelligent, and I liked that in her. It was kind of a turn on. She's very articulate. If anything, it took her a while to listen to my Southern dialect. But she did not confuse that with me being stupid. Because once I started talking to her, she was like kind of surprised. Yeah, I met you where you at. I would tease her sometimes. She'll pull out a big word. Oh, what that mean? Oh, well, you don't stop playing. I said, no, for real, what does that word mean? I'm testing her because she the one throwing them out there. So once all that was done and she kind of settled in a little bit. But when she first said that, am I intimidated? My chase got stronger because I said to myself, I'm going to conquer this one right here because she's up here. And if you right here, that should make you want to climb to that next level. That's what I meant by experiencing the chase. Not putting on no fronts, but you need to, better your game. Step it up, as they say. Use that same amount of adrenaline and that same force you using on that basketball court. We channel some of that and put it into that young lady that you've been looking at for the last 6 months in that coffee shop or wherever she is. So that's how you do that. You shouldn't be intimidated by her. If she's showing you any amount of interest, that's enough for a man to go on. Don't mess it up. Allowing your homeboys to feed negative thoughts in your mind, and you're gonna screw it up with that court life. Ain't nothing wrong with basketball, y'all. That's good exercise. I'm just saying, I'm just using analogies here so y'all can kind of get a clear picture of what I'm talking about. And the same go for the young ladies too. If you're not quite there yet, but you're transitioning, you've already told your girls that you're tired of this street life, you're tired of this game banging and all this. Now you've put yourself into college. You're taking some great courses. And some of these classes that you're taking and the career that you're choosing means that you're going to come in touch with a lot of intelligent people, a lot of well-spoken people. So now you're in the moment of that transition. So as you go into work and you see these doctors and you see these attorneys and board members and, things like that. And even the techies, let's not forget the techies, because for some reason, nobody want to date the techies because they think they all weird and they nerds. Well, they are, but they smart. Not all of them, but, because I happen to be around a whole lot of weirdos and techies. So just saying. But don't discount them too, because a lot of time when you come across a techie and somebody that's involved in a high-tech career, a lot of times they are super smart. Their brain never shut off. I never forget one day I told somebody that, man, it just seemed like my brain never shuts off. And he said, man, I'm the same way. All I think about is numbers and this and how to fix stuff. We got to talk about that. See, I'm like that. I can sit down and be watching television. I might say I'm going to come in, I'm going to put Tubi on and watch me a movie. Pew, I go right back to YouTube trying to figure out how to fix something. Came home with the sole intent to get on my computer tonight. It was something that was bothering me, work related. But instead of always asking the guru, I want to do research on it myself because I want to learn some better ways of doing it. So if you can apply that into your day-to-day life, that you're always learning, you always want to try to conquer something. How do I get that person though? How do I get him or her? First of all, you studied her for 6 months. So you know her movement. You pretty much know that, hey, for 6 months, she's coming here. She's always pleasant. She's always poised. She's always just laid back. You don't never really see her leaning on the counter or sitting over there in the corner with the headphones on and the music blasting through the headphones. You always see that lady in a great state of mind. If that's too much for you, homeboy, don't take your little self over there ruining that lady's life. Because she's here, great state of mind. You're trying to get there. The only way you're going to get there is you do your homework. You study yourself. Practice. Look in the mirror. Practice saying good morning. Practice introducing yourself. That's all you got to do. Just practice. And then once y'all approach each other and you get to know her, you're going to constantly be learning things about her. Now, keep in mind, you're in training at this point. So you got to stay on that level. So when you get back home, you might not spend 5 days on the court. You might spend 3. You might be in a house studying and watching relationship coaches. And yes, y'all, you can watch relationship coaches free online. You don't have to pay for it. But once again, if they look like you and sound like you and act like you, find another relationship coach. The only thing they're going to teach you is the same stuff you already do in the street. You don't need that coach. You want to find the next one up from that. You've already mastered all that, all the BS. Now you want to graduate. A lot of times, you can just sit there and listen to a relationship coaching podcast all day, zodiac compatibility, just different things when it comes to men and women. Ladies, y'all can do the same thing. And all it's going to do is help you become a better person. They have speaking classes. Some people call it Toastmasters. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But they have speaking classes you can go to. They have some you can go to online. That you could just listen to people interact and watch how people are greeting each other and how to tell if that person is interested in you. There's this young lady I listen to quite often, but where's my computer? She goes by Marty. And it's Mardi, I believe. But she talks about that. Relationship coaches, pleasuring. She talks about all kinds of stuff. She's very straightforward. And when you're trying to learn something, and that's why I said if you get on there and the person looks like you and act like you and think like you don't want that. Because a lot of times they just full of BS. They just on there just to sell you a bag of sand. You actually trying to learn because you want to get to that next level. You already know that basketball court ain't gonna last you for the rest of your life. You ready to move on from that. Or that pool hall. Or whatever it is that you're doing. There's nothing absolutely wrong with that. You have your time with your buddies. But 5-6 days a week, when you can be doing something else, how are you gonna find to be in a relationship when they're consuming all your time? Now, just say you meet this young lady and you get, y'all start hanging out a little bit. She might say, well, take me, I want to see where you're from, meet some of your friends. She's going to understand that they're not there yet. And she can't put you down for the ignorance of the people that you may be associated with, because she's seeing you on a whole nother light. And this ain't called putting on no front. She's actually seeing you in transition. And a lot of times that lady or those ladies might think that's attractive because they're seeing the growth. They're not seeing that 28, 35-year-old young man that's still running around acting like he's 18. That's what I'm getting at. See, they're seeing the growth. You're in transition. She's growing. She's in college. So now y'all are starting to date. Y'all are growing together. What you don't want to do is get in that relationship and then a year and a half from now, she tells you, but we're growing in a different direction. Basically what she's telling you is you stop maturing. You stop growing. She kept going full steam ahead. So you can't get comfortable with a woman like that. You got to stay in it. Just keep it going. Keep learning. There's nothing wrong with that. We can't always just be playing video games and basing music through our heads and all that bumping. And, we got to sit down and learn sometimes. You have to. And even if it's not even about a relationship, it can be about a certain subject that you want to tackle. Maybe you want to learn how to do some DIY projects. You got to sit down and learn that stuff. It's all about how we're going to start applying ourselves. And especially if you're thinking of changing careers or you just not getting into the technical field. And I'm not going to get into the politics behind this, but y'all just sit tight because there's going to be a whole lot of jobs coming back in high tech. So you need to be ready for it. Because these career academies are taking off everywhere. They're building them. They've been doing that. So, you want to put yourself in a better position. And don't be ashamed of the job you do. I mean, you might be a computer tech. That doesn't mean that you can't land that nurse or that doctor or even that attorney. So go for it. But you just have to be able to apply yourself. And don't let her see the weakness in you coming right out the bat. Like I say, introduce yourself. For the next 3 ladies that you approach, young man, or even the old dudes, don't ask her name first. Introduce yourself. Just start there. Just learn to introduce yourself. Because a lot of times, if you go to a seminar, even if you go to one of these little rusty dinky places where they try to sell you a timeshare, some of the first things those people do is greet the crowd and then they introduce themselves. Use that same principle. You just doing it on a smaller scale. Because that woman probably looking for a good, strong man. She ain't looking for somebody gonna come there approaching her and he looking down at his feet. You gotta make eye contact. You really do. It'll get you a long way. So then we don't went from stop loving the wrong person to how to approach somebody that you're interested in. And if what you've been doing lately ain't working, it's time to change it up. Just like an old car. You finally got tired of trying to fix on it. You got tired of trying to boost it off every morning. You want something new. Same principle. Ladies, it's probably you too. And stop thinking. So I hear this from a lot of my personal female friends. There ain't no more good men out here. I'm tired of these same old guys, these same old dusty guys, and they're all about that life. That's because you're still in that environment. And I'm not saying forget where you come from, so y'all ease up on that one too. But if you stay in that environment, that's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get. Occasionally, she may be at the corner market in the hood, or her hood. Occasionally, that one guy might just walk in there, and he just hopped in there for a quick minute. He just came in there to get some gas. He may be from the other side of town. He may just be passing through. But if she sees him and she likes him, it's okay. Lady, speak to him. Say hello. because he's probably not even there he's not even really looking around and really thinking about that. Don't let it get away from you. Now, in that situation, yes, ladies, it's perfectly fine. Go up there and speak to him. And then you'd probably be surprised if he really takes the time out to introduce himself, ask you how you doing, and take a quick 5-minute conversation, because that's all he got right now is 5 minutes. That's enough time for him to learn a little bit about you, find out where you're from, and get your number. And if he tells you I will give you a call within a day or two, he's more likely going to be serious enough to do it. He ain't asked for your social media. Stop running around here telling everybody to follow you. Not everybody's on that. You sitting around here looking at a full-grown man, an intelligent man that's actually sitting here talking to you face to face in this little restaurant or this store or whatever, making eye contact with you, asserting himself, and you try to get him your IG. That man's so far removed from that stuff, it ain't funny. And first, they don't think, nah, I ain't trying to get down one of these IG girls. I want something meaningful. So, and that's not to say professionals don't use that stuff. I'm just saying right there was not the right time to be talking about all that kind of stuff. And then if he's interested in you and y'all start dating, he may not be on social media like that. So he may ask you to pull back or don't post him all the time. It ain't that he got something to hide. Maybe his career is at stake. Maybe he deal with so many people in the public eye. The last thing he wants to be is all over social media. Y'all have seen how celebrities fall because of social media. But that's because we're just, only thing we think about is celebrities. That's why I brought that up. We got doctors, we got attorneys, we got people in big time public figures that are very protective of themselves when it comes to that. That's why you don't hear anything about their personal life a lot. And there's one person that's on YouTube and other platforms. I'm just gonna say Shannon. He talks about that. His private life is not to be shared for the whole world. And you can't protect it all. But he's the type of person that's not here putting all his business out there in the street. Because when you get on here, and even I had to think about this, if I started getting on here doing live, I started saying, well, it's my life. Why can't I talk about myself and talk about things that I see day to day? It's not affecting nobody else. So sometimes your life is not for the whole world to see, because a lot of times, and a lot of y'all are guilty of this, everything that you're posting on social media is the exact same copy that 20 other people that you friended on there are doing. So y'all just doing the same old thing. And you think that you take that same principle, you doing the same thing, same old thing, day in and day out. Then when you get away from that and you see this person and that person approaches you, oh my God, you don't even know what to say. Because you doing that same old thing. You're not trying to transition. And that's not against social media. That's just all about you and your personal life. How you have allowed social media to keep you from growing. And I ain't the first person to say that. Social media has dumbed us down. I ain't say y'all, I said us. It has dumbed us down. They want us to know certain things. They want you to think that you're going to get all this money. And they keep talking about that money. And so many of y'all that was waiting on all this money, they was talking about they going to hand out. Y'all forgot about that because they started putting other crap in your head. It's all smoke and mirror. Meanwhile, there's a whole world going on out there. Whole world. People are growing, developing. The only reason why I stopped attending a lot of functions and after work things because of there was a lot of things going on that I didn't agree with. So my time could be better spent working on some of my side stuff, getting a few dollars here or there, than to be out here rubbing elbows after hours when it's business related, because at the end of the day, if that particular business is not going to benefit you, you're giving up too much of your free time when you can be doing something else. And it's not against your job. It has more to do with you have some other obligations that bring you money. Now you can go down there at the golf center and stay down there 3 hours and rub elbows. It's gonna get you nowhere. But you already got this side job that you doing 3 days a week that might net you $300 or $400 a week. Why are you gonna take a chance and mess that up? Because you took that particular job because you had a vision. You said in 2 years, I want a house. But if you start chipping away at that, it's gonna take you longer. And that's nothing against the company. I mean, you don't owe them anything after your work hours. And I'm not saying you can't go. I'm just saying at some point you start thinking about other things. Could came home today, put a good dent into working on this little project I'm working on. But I got up early this morning and I made some progress on it. So you can utilize your time that way too. The way I see it, for a lot of y'all still don't go to work till 9 o'clock. I go in at 6:30 because that's the time I chose. You don't go into 9 o'clock and you're awake at 6 and you doing some work from home stuff. Let that be your time. Because a lot of times you're saying you're gonna do it in the afternoon. By the time you get out of work, all hell done broke loose. You got 5 other things going on. And you missing that money. You missing that retirement fund. You missing that house you're trying to get, or you missing that new car you want. And there's a lot of days I even been on here and said, man, I supposed to been working today. I ain't feeling it today. But I probably overasserted myself the day before. I know I'm gonna make up for it the next morning. So I'm gonna get my time in somewhere. And that same principle, if you see something bad enough and you want it, you're gonna figure out how to go and get it. Even that young lady in that coffee shop. You gotta be able to apply yourself. She's waiting on you. She's been checking you out for 6 months, more than likely. Don't let anybody else get in there and swoop in on you. Just go for what you know. I'm probably gonna put these glasses on and scroll through some of these comments and see what. Don't worry, I ain't gonna call y'all out. I'm just gonna scroll through them. For every good, there's usually 2 bads. We all know how that works. So what you're doing right now is nothing new, person. You haven't invented something new. It is what it is. And when you're jumping from platform to platform and you're doing the exact same thing, some of those same people that are following me, following some of the same people that you're following, they already see you ain't on nothing. You just a 25-year-old immature young male that's scared to grow up. That's all you are. But at some point, you're gonna have to come to the realization that life is passing you by, and you still playing. Keep on playing. And there's a place in the world for people like that anyway. So not everybody's gonna want to become a functioning member of society. Because yes, we have 40, 45-year-old men that still live with their mom. Has always lived there. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're taken care of. But what about all those other years? What were you doing? So it is what it is. So life is what you make it. Oh, I said I was gonna be scrolling through. I'm still running my mouth. Let me see what's going on with y'all. Hello, everyone, once again. Yep, yes, no to that one, yes. That too, I appreciate you. Great thinking. Yes, great minds think alike. We're all having a great time. It is what it is. Absolutely. I would definitely look into that one. Life is good. Y'all see how quick I rambled off answers to answer some of these questions. And it applied to 45% of y'all. Go figure, right? And I can sit here and say it 15 times in a row. I don't have my glasses on. I have no intention on reading that because I'm talking. I'm not going to single you out and make this about you, and all you doing is sitting there punching words in. No. There's a way you could do this. You can give me your information. Next time I go live, you can go live with me. Show everybody that you're not a coward. That's what I say. You know, I don't mind. We can make it work. We can collaborate. We definitely can. I think you should. And for even the ones that have not sent a message and you're listening, I hope you take something away from this, especially the young ladies that are sick or tired of waiting on these young men to step up and become men. Y'all be patient. Help is coming. You know, men are getting back into college. Men are getting back into the workforce. I know a lot of y'all ladies are tired of waiting, and you're still dealing with little man from high school. You'll mess around and get you a grown man, so be ready for him. Because I agree with y'all. I listen to my lady friends when they talk about that same thing. And all I can do is offer them support. Ladies are tired of this mess. You know. But be careful what you ask for, because when it comes, you gotta be prepared for it, Miss Lady. It's gonna come your way. It's not about luck, it's just about finding that right person for you. And actually, if you take money off the table and get to know that person, stop basing it on what they're pulling up in. You know, stop basing it on that. Because I can tell you, knowing some people and how I know them and know what they personally have and the way they present themselves is totally different. So, you know, try to get to know a person for themselves. You know. And, you know, what I don't understand is, how could one cowardly man, knowing that he's had an opportunity to get some very helpful advice, he's still being a coward? Because he don't think it'll work for him. And see, ladies, that's what y'all are dealing with. That's what y'all have to deal with. You know, that goes back to when you was dating old boy last year, 2 years ago, and you kept telling him over and over, you know, I'm gonna need you to step it up. I'm gonna need you to help do some things. I'm gonna need you to do more things around the house. He refused to do it. Because I don't know what has happened in society to where men act like they're afraid to fail. Afraid to be told no. And the first thing they do is run and tell their mama when you can't give him his way. And while he's running back over there to mama, tell him you need to stay over there a day or two and think about that. Because you got this over here. You're probably the one that's still carrying the load. We already talked about that. You know, I even brought that up again this morning about how these ladies are getting up and they're going to work. And they still got Tyrone over there. He's just sitting on the couch every day. He ain't even trying to look for a job. Because he was babied all his life. He grew up thinking, well, in his mind, he grew up knowing that a woman's supposed to take care of him. And that's what happened. When you met that man, his mama was taking care of him. There's a big difference between, yeah, he's still living there, than being taken care of. Now, he don't left one house. He been in since the day he was born. more than likely. Y'all get together. Now he's moving in your house. He hasn't spent any time alone. That young man don't know what it means to get that first apartment. And all he has is lights and water and some canned goods and a couple slices of bread. You know, and a lot of them, they couldn't live like that for a week. They don't know how to survive. They don't know how to survive. They get so trifling to where all they doing is sitting at home in mama's basement playing video games and the power goes out. Imagine this, 27 years old, 28 years old, power goes out. He calls his mama at work instead of calling the power company, trying to figure out what's going on. Your cell phone's still working. It's just the power in the house is out. Instead of taking the initiative to call the power company, report the outage. Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson, we well aware of it. We'll be right on. We'll be right over. He gonna call his mama. Grown man can't even think for himself. Don't even know how to call and find out about why the lights are out. What's that about? But he left mama house because you found him. Now you get him in your house. He's doing the same thing he was doing over there. Yeah, he might have a little job. But he had enough to keep him afloat to afford what he needed. All he wanted was some tennis shoes and that video game and some eating money. He used to go out, but now with food delivery, he don't have to go nowhere. A lot of cases, that man ain't seen the light of day except for to take the trash out and then go back and pull the garbage can back in. But you don't pull them into your household. Now you 3 months in and trying to figure out what the world this fool do all day long. Well, you knew what he was doing when he kept telling you to slide through. And you was over there saying, your mama sleep. You too grown for that too. That's fun sometimes, but come on, y'all. A lot of these men are not ready for the real world. And a lot of times, ladies, I know you get lonely, you gonna settle for him. You know, he gonna do better. He got another job. He trying to do better. If you got this man, you met this man, he been staying there since day one with mama. And he got this part-time job. So he met you, now he got a job. He trying to do better. This man has no track record. He's fresh out the box, wet behind the ears. He's just telling you that to impress you. Because he don't have a history of nothing but sitting in that basement. And that same one that's been sitting in that basement are the same kind that y'all see on here, on these live streams and social media, that we're gonna go back again, circle back. That same one that was bullied in school, that same coward that his mom been taking care of, now he almost 30 years old. It's the same guy. Same one. And ladies, by all means, if your mom is still around and she's trying to tell you some stuff and warn you about somebody or what to look out for, don't tell your mama you don't want to hear that. That's why we all make some of the mistakes we make anyway, to be honest with you. We go in head first. But now you're in a whole different realm of life. You can find out information about somebody. You know, you can do the background on them. You can watch how they are. Ladies, here's another key fact. You dealing with this young blood. You know, y'all hitting it off okay. Okay, so what? He almost 30. He been living with his mom all his life, but he gonna tell you that, yeah, you know, I'm over here helping mom out. About what? Pestering her. Your mama can't have company because she's single, because she got a grown son in the basement looking crazy. And you take that same grown man that you don't met now. Ladies, this is something I want y'all to be looking out for. The minute you take him around your family, or let's just say it's summertime, you take him to a cookout. Watch how his interaction is with other men. He can't do it. He can't stand toe to toe and talk to other grown men on about nothing. unless it's a video game or it's a basketball game. But he can't talk to them about nothing. Your uncle's over there. He can't talk to your uncle about his yard business. He don't know the first thing about how to start a lawnmower. You know, he know your dad is a painter. He can't talk to your dad about how he got started. You know, then don't let your brother come up. You know, he's a high-tech guru. He can't even talk to him either. All he can do is wave, but now he's following you around. You know why he's following you around? And he's helping you with everything. Because he's afraid. That's why he's following you. That's what he's been doing from day one when he was living with his mama. He's not only intimidated by one man, he's intimidated by every man in your family. And ladies, when y'all start seeing that, you need to start working on your exit plan. Because you're going to have a whole lot of trouble with that grown boy that don't know how to do nothing. Why you got a grown man living in your house and you still paying somebody to cut your grass? He ain't working. No, take it back. He's working 20 hours a week. He's delivering food. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But that's all he want out of life. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying for all y'all that doing deliveries. Just making a point. But you still paying somebody to do your yard work. You got all that yard equipment. You paying the old man across the street to do it. He doing it because he tired of seeing your yard look the way it looks. He retired. He probably got more money than he know what to do with. And he's saying to himself, when he's sitting over there on that porch drinking that morning coffee, he waving at you. He's saying on his belt, you need to get that sorry dude out your house. And one day you're gonna go across the street and talk to Mr. Johnson. He gonna lay some information on you. Not only he gonna tell your old boyfriend over there is sorry, don't do nothing all day. Then he gonna let you know. Is that his sister that be pulling up 2-3 days a week? He running girls out your house. Yeah, ladies. No, we ain't gonna get back on the whole cheating thing again. But yeah, if he gonna cheat, he can cheat anywhere. But not under your roof. That way he laying his head, he can go back over his mama house. See, now he over here, he know you gone. He gonna do all the stuff his mama didn't want him doing. He gonna bring it over here and do all his dirt. Cause he got a safety net. If you get tired of him, he gonna go back to mama. And what she gonna say, baby, your room just like you left it. Cause she knew he'll be back. At what point does a male becomes a grown man to where, you know, you got a great opportunity here. And she's cool with the fact that you got a little part-time job and you getting ready to start taking online classes. And she got all that yard equipment. And even though Mr. John's across the street, he's just like, look here, Kim. I do it because I'm bored. My yard's immaculate, and you right across the street from me. I want your yard to look like mine. Fine and good. Let Mr. Jones take care of it. But that man of yours, there's nothing wrong with him going out there and talk to Mr. Johnson and seeing if he needs any help. You know, you saw Mr. Johnson over there painting his fence last week, young blood. Go over there, hey, Mr. Johnson, you got an extra brush? I got some free time. You ain't even gotta talk to him. Just listen at him talk, just like y'all listening to me. And for the few of you little clowns that I know y'all saying something smart, I ain't gonna even pay that no attention. That's a given. That's all you know how to do because I'm talking about you. When you over there helping Mr. Jones paint that fence or whatever y'all doing together, listen to the knowledge coming out of his mouth. Not one time is he gonna say anything derogatory towards you. He's gonna talk about knowledge. He's gonna start off telling you how he met his wife, how he courted her, how they would do the simple things in life, how, you know, she taught him how to cook. Because he was too busy on the road driving trucks and did all these other things. When he retired, she taught him how to cook. And guess what? He became a better cook than her. And then she got sick. Guess who was cooking? He was. He nursed his wife back to health. That's how relationships work. Don't be sitting there telling, man, that weak. Ain't no man gonna be trying to learn how to cook. All right. It goes something like the seeds you sow today. That ain't always about something negative. There's positivity behind that too. Y'all need to learn something. No matter how you word it, as long as it applies to you. And if you don't want to be in a relationship, that's all fine and good. Because I tell you all the time, I don't want nobody living with me. We can have relations. Or like the one lady said, well, I'm not looking for anything sexual. I said to her, okay, fine. We ain't got to have sex with each other. But just because I'm going out with you occasionally, don't mean I'm going to stop my life and stop my living just because I'm just going out hanging out with you. You know, you draw the line right then and there. Let her know your intentions. Because I'm not looking for anything serious. Nor am I out here trying to chase and become a professional feeder. You know, I don't need to take you to all these fancy restaurants just so you can take pictures of food. The same pictures that you can see online. Your pictures don't look no better. You got to send it to everybody. That's what you do. But yeah, guys, it's time for y'all to step it up. Stop making these excuses. And ladies, it's time for y'all to stop accepting these excuses. And if this does not apply to you, you know it applies to people that you know. Maybe you can pass some of this information on to them. Maybe you can forward them this video. It ain't gonna hurt their feelings because I don't know them. I'm not talking about nobody in particular. What I'm talking about is things that I've learned and accumulated over the years. But no, I was not living in nobody's basement. Like I said, I started working when I was 14 and I couldn't wait to get out there on my own. There was too many of us around. I went to work. And I bought my own first car. I've always bought all my vehicles. I've always taken care of my vehicles. I've always kept my vehicles clean. You know, I try to keep things around me in place. I'm looking around right now. The one thing that's bothered me is that serving spoon I got sitting over here on this paper towel from when I was eating earlier. It should have been put away, but I'm talking to y'all. We all having a great conversation. You know, I'm not doing skits. Y'all not watching the same skit y'all just watched 20 times over. I ain't clapping my hand out loud and I ain't doing all this stuff and I'm not looking for the fan and all that stuff. So I said something about this girl made a good point. Now all of a sudden y'all want to be country. Yeah. When it comes to that music, that's the same stuff I've been listening to almost half my life. Just like I got this soft blues going on in the background. When I don't want to watch TV, that's what's playing. If I be quiet long enough, y'all can hear it. It's soothing. I don't need nothing that's gonna just rile me up for no reason. That's the problem. That's what they did. That's why they put all that poison into music and movies. No, ain't nothing wrong with listening to it, y'all. Go ahead, y'all do y'all thing. You know, because I know I can put on my glasses right now and I already know it's one or two of you that's hanging on to every word I say because it applies to you. But instead of getting mad about and trying to clown on what I'm saying, why don't you get up, go upstairs, tell your mama I'll be back in a couple hours, and go outside. I don't care if you're just going to get gas. Matter of fact, don't even ask her. Bring her something back. You know your mama still like Dr. Pepper, Sprite, that lemon cream pie. Bring her something back. Don't ask her, just do it. You know, just do it. Be kind. That's all you gotta do. Because you're gonna have to learn somewhere. And the reason why, as a male, you don't know because you didn't spend any time around any men. You didn't spend time trying to learn that from your uncle, your granddaddy. Yeah, you don't know what your daddy is. I'm not being funny. I'm just saying if you don't know, there were other male figures. You know, even that coach that was in school that was trying to talk to you about things. You know, even when they was doing the PE classes, he kept trying to encourage the young guys to get out there and learn something different. whether it was volleyball or softball. But PE was for physical education, but it was also used for bonding. And see, these young men don't bond no more. They don't know nothing. That's why they all run around here acting crazy, killing each other at 17, 18 years old. They don't have a purpose in life. They don't know how to bond. They don't have anybody to talk it out to. And and as a young man, I can say that because I'm probably older than the majority of people watching right now. If every man you see, you think it's a threat to you, there's something wrong with you. You need to get out. You need to get out of that fear and find you somebody to talk to. This goes back to what I said about those podcasts. I'm not talking about your homeboys on that basketball court. Find somebody to talk to, because they look like you and they acting like you, and y'all doing the exact same thing 7 days a week. Go past that street. Go over your uncle's house. Go over your granddad's house. Find you somebody to talk to. Sit on that porch and just listen. That's what's going away now. Because a lot of us that are older, we had that. We was outside playing all day. Dad might have been on the porch, or uncle might have been on the porch, or it could be any little group of guys that was sitting there playing cards. You sitting at the foot of the step. Even though you're not really paying attention to the old men, but it's almost time for you to go in the house. Mama and them said you need to be back over here before lights come on. But you sitting there, but you just mind your own business. But you picking up knowledge. You're learning and don't even know it. See, we don't have that no more. We don't have that. You're sitting around here, you're unstructured, can't nobody tell you nothing. You go up to your job, you ain't trying to learn that from nobody. Everybody's getting on your nerves. But yeah, still, you're trying to have this lady in your life. Now you're mad at her. Talking about your lady tripping. Now you're going back to the basketball court again. Talking about your old lady tripping. The same old lady that took you out of your mama's basement, allowed you to move in. And she finally said, well, I'm going to need you to paint the bedroom this weekend. I don't think you're going to say, no, we got that little tournament going on down there on the basketball court. Are you serious, dude? Free room and board again. You don't hit goal twice. You've been in your mama's basement for the last 10 years. Now you over here. You working, luckily, 15 hours a week if you're doing that. And if all that woman asks you to do is paint that room, baby, what color? Let's go to the hardware store and get the paint. That's all you gotta do. And more than likely, she's gonna get in there and help you do it anyway, because she don't want it her way. But still, that's something different, because y'all aren't spending time together as it is. You had two opportunities. You saw Mr. Johnson cross the street painting his fence, could have went over there. You just missing golden opportunities because you can't get out of your own way. You are mentally blocking yourself. And I know that to be true. I ain't got to know you. But what I'm saying to a lot of y'all is making a lot of sense, because you want to do better. You don't know how to start. Up to this point, you've never thought about listening to any podcast on relationship advice. You never thought about going across the street to your neighbor. Almost everybody has one. That old dude that sit over there minding his own business, drinking his lemonade. He been waving at you since you were 5 years old. It's about time you go there and introduce yourself. You seen that man go to work every day. You seen that man lose his wife. Now he's old and retired. It's your time to go over there. You're going to learn so much from that man. And just sit over there and shut up. Other than, good morning, sir, how you doing? Have a seat. All you got to do is say, how's your day going? He's going to tell you his whole life. And you better be ready for it, because he's going to grow you up real fast. And he ain't going to tell you what you're doing wrong. He's just going to talk about life. Don't get offended because somebody is telling you about their life, like some of these people doing when they're on social media. Because as soon as you make something that relates to them, and they don't want to do nothing about anything to help themselves, they get mad about it. And that's why all the immaturity comes out. because it's all they know. Y'all know I'm right. Y'all know I'm right. For some of y'all that's on here, scroll back through some of the same messages. You hop on somebody else's platform, you're going to see the same old mess. These are the kind of immature people. I'm saying, hey, ladies, stay away from that foolishness. Unless you just want something to play with. If he just that you just want a little do boy. Somebody just ride with you when you go get your oil change, so you don't want the mechanics to try to cheat you. Keep that little do boy around. He has a purpose. It ain't very much. He's limited is what he can give you, but he's good for some things. That's okay, ladies. Keep him around for that. But he can't be your mainstay. He can't be. And y'all little young guys gotta get that notion out y'all head that a lot of these women won't cheat on you. Some of them got 2 or 3 of them, and you don't even know it. How you gonna know if you ain't even paying her any attention? The only reason why she probably chose to cheat after moving you in is because you're not giving her what she needs. She need a grown man. Yeah, she messed up. She could have messed up. She took you right out of your mama's house or your auntie house. She dropped the ball on that. She thought it was gonna grow you up. We all human. We make mistakes. I've made those mistakes, thinking I can help somebody. You know. But you live and you learn. Things get better. You're gonna start appreciating conversations like this. You're gonna start learning to appreciate the fact that there are actual genuine people that can get on here and talk about things without talking about where the fans at for the 45th time. You know, and that's fine, that's good entertainment. But how many times a day you gotta hear that? To where in all of these recordings and all these things they push it out there with subliminal messages in them. And if you don't believe me, you can go back just 2 years ago and see the guy's behavior online. And then you watch them today, they're all dancing like females. And I ain't got no problem with that. And this ain't about your sexual preference, y'all. We ain't gonna do that tonight. But y'all are all getting too soft. Meaning y'all getting too soft. That's all I'm gonna say. And that ain't got nothing to do with you being straight or whatever. You are just getting too doggone soft. Get out there and do so. Go out there and watch that girl car tomorrow. Go on out there and cut that grass. Let some sweat hit your back for a change. Do it. Why not? And it's okay to help. You're gonna feel better about it because you actually got up and actually did something for that lady. Now, she pull up one Friday afternoon from work. She been working all week and she know your routine in and out. And she pull up in the driveway and she look across the street and she see you over there helping Mr. Johnson paint his fence. Guess what? You gonna get something tonight because she see you taking initiative. She started to see that man that she knew that was hidden under that shell of that little boy that left his mama house at 28 years old. She started to see something. She waiting across the street. How y'all doing? She going in the house. Guess what she finna do? She finna go get 2 bottles of water because she want to go over there and be nosy to see what y'all doing. And then Mr. Johnson gonna give you praise. Oh, blood came over here. He picked up brush. Man, we done painted the whole back, front, and 2 sides of the house. It was gonna take me 2 weeks to do this. I didn't know he had it in him. He doing a good job. Boy, your stock going up. Mr. John just gave you the okay. Don't hurt your back because you got work to do tonight. You got work to do tonight. And as soon as you come back across that street and go in the house, she gonna say, oh, ain't no video games tonight. You already know what time it is. The last 2 months, she could care less what you were doing. But she saw a grown man over there across the street doing something. See how quick things can change? No, you ain't doing it just so you can score, but the fact that she saw you take an initiative it attracted her to you once again. Yes, guys, we all guilty of that. We'll get into a relationship, we'll sit down, we'll never get back up. That woman tired of seeing us sitting around. So yeah, guys, y'all just keep that in mind. Yeah, we can all laugh and joke about this. One night I'm gonna get on here and it's just gonna be all out, just laughing, jokes, and cutting up. But I just felt like sometimes I just feel like I need to talk about some of this stuff because I'm constantly seeing this type of lifestyle going on day in and day out. Not so much as relationship, it can be applied to the job. They acting the same way. We need to get to the point that a man just has one speed. I don't get it. I gotta do better. I feel like between my blues and talking to y'all, I should have been having me a shot. Now I don't want to be on here drinking like that, because then maybe one of y'all wants to get out here and start drinking, and you know y'all love to drink and drive. You got sense to stay home and enjoy your alcohol. And for those of you that's still at work and now it's going on 8 o'clock, if you're working that second shift, my hat's off to you. I'm spoiled. I love my early shift. I love my 12-minute commute to get to work. I don't want to change it. Now if something comes up, they feel like they don't want me no more. Nika, good evening. How's it going? Great to see you online again. Hope you had a great day. My day was well. Let me take a minute, scroll through, see what's going on with everybody. Okay. Let's go back right there. Let's see. Yep. It's another great day. Sound like everything is falling into place. But anyway, been good talking to y'all. And see, the same old foolishness is still going on, but you know, you had your time this morning. I'm not gonna just justify that with matching your low level of intelligence. But you know, all I can say is, and I didn't go through these comments that maybe some of these young ladies are saying. Like you said, Nika, I'm a mess in a good way. But can you chime in if you've been on here long enough? Because like I said this morning, Nika, I don't keep my glasses on. So you could have been on here for the whole ride. If you kind of witness some of this stuff going on with some of these young men, you can just do a thumbs up. Or if your homegirl tired of it from some of the stuff I've been saying going on with some of these men, you can just do a thumbs up. You ain't gotta say it's you and you tired of dealing with this, you tired of dealing with that. But sometimes this stuff has to be talked about. And sometimes, guys, we in a situation, we tired of getting the same old from these young ladies. But maybe because you don't want to get out of your little small circle, maybe you need to grow from within. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you do. So it is that. It's always a better way to look at things, a better way to restructure yourself. But yeah, I know it's true. And a lot of times, if you scroll back through Nika and some of the other young ladies that may have to be on here, because sometimes I get confused with some of the names. When we're dealing with these males and how weak-minded they are, and they're still doing the exact same thing day in and day out, it's because that's all they know. You could take that same person that is doing nothing but The only reason why I make the analogy to video games because majority of people recognize that. That's all they know is video games. I was watching live and watching this guy that I watch sometimes. And he got on there, he was playing this video game on live. All he was doing is just cussing and talking about the person and saying all kind of just terrible things because he's hiding behind this. That's all he knows. You know, and I can get up here and turn my phone around right now. I can open my cupboard. I can guarantee you, if I open it, there's nothing in there that people made certain references to. I don't have nothing to prove. You know, I'm full. I can come home every day. I can cook myself a meal. I can invite a young lady over and cook for her. You know, and a lot of them get surprised when they say, you need a woman over there to cook for you. No, I don't. I was taught to cook. You know, I know I do my own laundry. Wash, dry, and fold. Like I said on several of these things, I don't leave the house without my bed being made. I don't leave the house with dishes in the sink. I don't leave the house and a wad of clothes haven't been folded. Everything has its place. Just found out a friend of mine, she's over here the other day, and she's finna get back into house cleaning on the side. It's okay. You did it for me once before, I'm gonna let you do. She said, you don't never have nothing for me to clean. I said, my floor dirty. She was like, well, no, it's dirty. I got some work for you. Because now you getting back into it, you all of a sudden freed up your schedule and you want to make some extra money and do some house cleaning. Oh, I got you. You know, well, I can't charge you full price because I ain't gonna be doing that mess. Well, I ain't gonna purposely mess up to give you something to clean. Like, look at my microwave, got fingerprints on it. Did you call that dirty? I said, yeah. Every time I cook, before I eat, I wipe my stove down. I wipe the counter down. I still gonna wipe it down again tonight. Like I say, that one little serving spoon over there is getting on my nerve because it's just sitting there resting. But that's just me. I take care. And I'm not sitting over here saying I got the most extravagant stuff. I got secondhand stuff that I take good care of. I am yet to replace my mattress. I've been replacing for 2 months now because I don't never think about it till I get up in the morning. Make myself a mental note, which I'll probably get it this weekend. But I like being in a position that I can go out here and get the things that I need in a timely manner. So I'm gonna tell y'all something. I have actually been in a relationship and I stayed broke because I was always part of a bailout plan. So I'm sure a lot of y'all y'all witnessed that too. So over here, if it fails, I failed. I ain't relying on nobody else. If the lights goes off, it's on me. It's just that simple. Something get broken, I go fix it. I still got stuff as I look around. If I haven't used it in a while, I'm gonna get rid of it. I got this juicer over here. I was trying to get my friend to take with her the other day because I got a small one. 9 times out of 10, whenever I use it, I use the small one. This one's just too big and clunky. The reason why it's over there because it was a gift. I don't like clutter. I don't even really use that juicer. So you got stuff laying around and you try to make a few extra dollars, yeah, sell it, post it, sell it. But I'm just giving that thing away. And let's try to figure out what she's gonna do with it. But yeah, I eat good over here. I cook. Yes, I do bake fish. Yes, I do know how to fry fish. The whole 9. I prefer not to fry anything because it is messy. I spend more time cleaning than I do preparing to fry. I rather bake it. You know, I do breakfast too. I know I do lunch too. Yes, I do know how to make soup. I know how to make chicken. I do all that stuff, but I don't cook every day. When you're single, you don't have to because you're gonna throw away more food cooking for yourself every day, unless you're fixing a salad every day. So I try to do better with my salads, you know, and I do love cabbage. It used to be probably green beans was one of my favorites, but now it's like I eat more cabbage now. I like knowing that I can take care of myself. I'm self-sufficient, and that's why I'm saying now that I'm older, a lot of these women that has moved on, or maybe their husband passed, and they're lonely. They looking for somebody, but I'm not ready to be attached like that. Let's just get to know each other and visit each other. I don't see myself getting that serious with somebody in less than 2 years. Yeah, it can change. Mainly because I'm so independent and I can do all these things myself. Now, if I didn't have the skill set or the knowledge and didn't know how to do absolutely nothing, I'd be looking for a woman to take me in. That's what a lot of these guys are doing. That's what I've been talking about for the last 30 minutes. It don't stop because you get a certain age. You got a buddy right now, that's all he does. He's bouncing around from house to house, 61 years old. Yeah, I said it, he's 61, and that's what he does. He should be tired of these women putting him out by now. But to each his own. I couldn't sleep well at night knowing that I was using somebody like that. Because I like to get up every morning and go to work. I go to work. And there gonna come some days when I'm saying I didn't work today. Guess what, y'all? I got enough vacation time to justify that. I do. So, and I like to say that my job, for the most part, is pretty laid back. It has its stressful moments, but what job doesn't? Some of y'all don't even know what stress is. Now, when I say some of y'all, I'm talking about the young men. I'm not talking about these ladies on here. You know, you don't even know what it's like. You don't even know what it's like to get out here and have to fend for yourself. You know, you just don't know. If I see something I want, y'all, guess what? All I gotta do is pick up some little extra work here or there. I'll make it happen. Just long enough to get whatever I need. Still. Because what I ain't gonna do is be out here asking nobody to borrow no money. I don't know the last time I did that. I had to ask somebody to borrow some money. I don't know the last time I did that. But when I did, I made sure I paid it back. Because I owe you. Now, I can't say that for some of the people that borrowed from me and they didn't pay back. And they get amnesia and they forget the fact that they borrowed some money from me. But I know and they know. So now they just cut off a support line because they may need it again. Now they know they can't get it again. People don't find a way of using you. It's just a way of life. That's why I deal with my friends from a distance. If I want to be around them, call them up. We go meet up for a little while. But I stopped having so many people coming over because I enjoy my peace and quiet. Because you're going to come over here, you're going to make a mess. You're going to be leaving cups and stuff everywhere. And I don't care for all that. There's nothing so satisfying the way when you come home, you're not coming home to a bunch of dishes in the sink and somebody's shoes in the middle of the floor and all that stuff. And if you got somebody in your household, you got to come home to that and they grown while they still in your house. We ain't got to go back and talk about old dude that been down there playing video games all day again. What y'all know is true. You come straight home from work and you picking up after him. I'm gonna get off of that for now. This time I get up and make some things happen around here myself. Got to tend to this problem on this computer that's on my mind. It's gonna take me 20 minutes to get it right, but that's all the time I'm gonna get it. Now that I've had time to unwind and relax from work, that I've been home since 3:45. Yeah, I'm home relaxing. I've talked about pretty much everything I want to talk about. And y'all know what? I offended some of these grown males on here that's doing exactly what I said. But I wasn't talking about you. I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, I'm just making a point. Y'all know I'm right. But we'll talk about this another time and some other things. But like I said, until I get more members and more subscribers, then we'll get into some deep subject stuff. It's going to be some late night conversations. And I'm going to be honest, some of y'all ain't going to make the cut because y'all can't even make the cut. We over here just talking about cooking and cutting grass. So if you think the immaturity is there now, just wait till we really start talking about some adult stuff. Yeah. They ain't gonna be able to handle it. Because we talked about that once before too. If you got a grown man, he can't even express themselves to y'all ladies on an adult subject. They don't know how to. He can't tell you what he's into because he ain't trying to figure it out himself. He's on the fence. Dude, you on that fence. Go on over there for a little while. See if it's what you want. Then come back. You're going to test the water sooner or later. Go on and test it. Before you marry that woman and give her the next 10 years of grief because you somebody else. You know what I'm talking about. We're going to talk about all that too. We will, but that's going to be a late night conversation. It won't be like not right now. You know, and then when we do that, it's going to be a whole nother setting, different setting. I might do have my little glass of wine and a different background. But I'm keeping it simple for everybody. I don't need a whole lot of fanfare. I don't need to do skits and all this other stuff to draw people in that want to just hear what I'm talking about. You know, because whether you like it or not, what I'm talking about makes a lot of sense. And for those of you that don't like it, what can I say? You just gotta go find somebody else. You know, you won't offend me. You was listening to somebody else before I came along. Before you found me. So, what happened? Your same immaturity got old over there, so you hopped over here. It's gonna get old over here too. You're gonna go somewhere else. That's how you've been spending all your adult life anyway. And I'm gonna just on here saying, hey, it's time for you to try something different. But you can't. You're scared. You're scared to. I don't know why. What do you have to lose? Maturity? You're afraid to grow up? I don't know why. There are a lot of people out here right now that would love to be in a better position and they're physically unable to. I don't know. I don't understand that. You know, when we're given all the tools in life to succeed and we only utilize 5% of it. Now that's amazing. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And yeah, Nika, you might be right. I had it planned a long time ago. I was doing this. They never did because it's a random feed. It's not produced by anybody in particular. So it's just low, what they call, well, some people like to call it lo-fi. You know, and actually I was getting ready to shut it off to something else because I'm getting ready to start doing something else. It just plays in the background all the time. It's just lo-fi. But if it's real loud, you let me know. You know, I can also turn it off. I just got on here and started doing what I was doing while I was cooking. came right in and hit my music and it just started playing. But they copyright me, then okay. If this don't post because of random electronically selected music that I'm paying a subscription to, and it's all electronically controlled, maybe they need to research their own copyright laws. But I'm not gonna get up and cut it off because of that, because I'm too far in right now. So if this doesn't air, it's because of that. So to me, it's just like what they call quiet noise. That's all it is. And it's not for everybody, but it's soothing. If anybody has really picked up on it playing in the background, they're hearing a lot of tunes they've never heard before because it's soothing. I happen to like it. It is what it is. Let's see what else is going on. Wait a minute, how you record it? Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, back to the operator in the small fire. Yeah, I kind of got off that subject. So coming back, and I said, well, maybe I overshot it, or maybe that wasn't. So coming home today, I watched the mile markers, and I gave her the exact one. I looked again. The lady just obviously didn't know where the mile markers were. They were put there for a reason, for emergencies, but she didn't know. But we, Nika, we had a good conversation about that this morning. And, there are a lot of us that's in the workforce that don't have a clue about what we're doing. But when it comes to a matter of emergency, a doctor, pilots, they need to be on top of their game. No job wants to see you mess up, but we all mess up. We all make mistakes. We're human. I've been in my work field for a long time. I still get caught slipping on some stuff. It's never been that bad where I'm gonna get fired, but it is what it is. But we all get up and go to work. But some of us don't have to work, And even when I get to that point, which by the way, me and a coworker was talking about this again today. I happened across this website for RVs and whatnot. And also on that website, they had some auctions. So I signed up to start an opening bid, which means I'm gonna push it back to December. So if I'm gonna set that as my target date, and if I decide to get it, it's gonna probably be December, January. A small travel trailer, not an RV, but on that site they sell everything. So, and when I came about the ones that they were auctioning off a Mercedes chassis RV. It's kind of on the chassis like the big box stores, the delivery stores, those vans. It was the Mercedes same way, but it had everything in it, full shower, the whole nine. And they was auctioning it off. And I was like, man, I may even just put my bid in. It ain't gonna cost you nothing to bid on it. And I think this one, that one's scheduled to be sold, I think on the 28th. So let's think about that. I may very well do it. And the only thing he said at the bottom, that they make 2.5% of every sale or $750. They don't usually exceed. So I'm like, okay, so I may change my game plan up if I can get that Mercedes RV versus a travel trailer. Only reason why I don't want a full-fledged RV right now, because I got two vehicles. I don't need to be trying to care for three motors. But if I can get a good deal on it, hey, it is what it is. So I'm thinking about it. putting in a bid for it. And I think the coworker saw one that I think he's gonna probably bid on. It's also reached out to a buddy of mine. I sent him the link to it because he does a lot of hauling and things like that. So he's trying to find a box truck. He wants 2 box trucks to go into business for himself because he's tired of working for somebody else. So that's going to be his business if he find the right price on them. But anyway, everybody, been on here long enough. I think we can all safely say that no mature person was injured or hurt during this conversation. Only the weak-minded, and they're probably going to be upset tonight. I'm probably going to take them off their game. They won't be able to focus on trying to get to the next level. So it is what it is. You know, we're all going to get there. Not at the same time, but we're all going to get there eventually. Life is what you make it. But in the meantime, everybody have a great afternoon. I'm going to get in here and do some things I need to take care of on this computer. Take care, everybody. Later.